So, for part 2 of the festivities of this weekend and other pay-per-views, we have NXT's Great American Bash. And yeah, it's an interesting one. Last year's Great American Bash, I remember not being particularly good. And there was only one really good match, and even that was more like a 6 out of 10. So I'm curious to see what this one is going to be like. I'm very curious to see a big match for Naraku in NXT and kind of how he changes styles from how he was in New Japan. Kendall Gray and Lola Vice can be a fantastic match. And I think there's some possibilities of some shock results and really good performances throughout, but for now, like last time, I do have my fan on because it's 30 degrees in the UK, so I do apologise if you can hear that in the background. Hopefully it won't be too annoying, but yeah, let's get into the predictions for NXT Great American Bash. Starting off with one of the 2 matches I don't have graphics for right now because they haven't released them yet, which is Zarya defending the Women's North American Championship against Tatum Paxley in a match that should be pretty good, to be fair, or at least decent. Zarya can be a bit hit and miss in the ring, whereas Tatum Paxley is fantastic in the ring. I'd probably argue she's one of the best women's wrestlers in ring in NXT. I think they have a decent match, but this is very predictable as far as an outcome comes. Zarya has just won the championship, so it makes sense to have her retain here. Maybe Tatum Paxley, whether they take another loss, goes up to the main roster sooner rather than later. I would love to see that happen. But yeah, I think for me, very simple prediction for this one. Zarya will continue to be Women's North American Champion after Great American Bash. And after that, we have Ren Sinclair defending the Women's Speed Championship against Ariana Grace. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of Ren Sinclair. I wasn't at first, I was a bit hit and miss, but the more Wednesdays I watch, the more I see her on TV, the more entertaining that she is, the more I'm becoming a fan of of Ren Sinclair. Very easy to get Tatum Paxley stuck on the mind there. But no, I think this is going to be a not great match. Ariana Grace has historically not had good matches. I feel like though NXT is the best place for her, she isn't best when it comes to in-ring, whereas Ren Sinclair can go in the ring should she need to. And that's why I think she is going to retain the Speed Championship here. Very surprised to see 7 cards on this, just 7 matches on this card. 7 cards, Jesus. The heat is really getting to me apparently. But no, I think it's going to be this one. I'll be very happy if Ren Sinclair gets the win here. I'm not going to lie, I'll actually be quite disappointed if Ariana Grace wins the championship, unless it means that Ren goes on to bigger stuff, hopefully. But if you're not going to do anything with Ren, keep her as Speed Champion. She's miles entertaining, and yeah, I think she fits that championship quite well, actually. Another match I don't have the graphic for, and I wasn't even aware it was happening, even though I haven't watched NXT yet, arguably, but yeah, we have Tristan Angels versus Shiloh Hill. I'm not a big fan of how this feud has actually been. The whole Mr. NXT thing seems really silly to me, especially when Ariana Grace has historically been Miss NXT, so why not have her involved in a way? I don't know. It's not a serious storyline, but still. For me, it makes most sense that Shiloh Hill gets a win here. I know he won the Mr. NXT thing, but yeah, I feel like he, for whatever reason, and I don't really understand why, because he is just a bit of a bum. They seem to be pushing him quite hard on NXT, so yeah, bit of an interesting one. Not the biggest Shiloh Hill guy for me personally, but yeah, I mean, it seems like they're pushing him for some reason. I assume he's probably going to get the win here. My prediction is Shiloh Hill will get the win, but yeah, don't really understand the investment in Shiloh Hill personally. Following that, we have the implosion of Dark State with Dion Lennox taking on Saquon Sugars in a match that I feel like could be an absolute banger. I'm not going to lie. Saquon Sugars can absolutely go in the ring when he needs to. Dion Lennox has been improving so well over the last few years. So, yeah, I feel like we're going to be in for a good feud here. But I think that the feud does not end here. I feel like they continue, maybe have some kind of stipulation match on either NXT TV or on whatever the next pay-per-view will be, which I believe would be Heatwave, maybe, which is obviously one of their bigger shows of the year. So yeah, I'm going to go with Dion Lennox to get the win here with a heel, getting the first win for the babyface to get the win back and win the feud overall later on. I feel that makes the most sense for this feud. So I don't think they're going to leave it here. You know that Griffin and Cutler will try and get involved at some point here. Maybe Shaken Sugars will either fight them both off or maybe even get some help. But yeah, I feel like here, to me, I can't see Sugars getting the win here. I feel like it's going to be a typical heel and then babyface win. One of the matches I'm really looking forward to on this card is the men's North American title match with Miles Bourne defending against Tavion Heights. Now, we know that these two as a tag team work so well together, and usually 8 times out of 10, if you're a good tag team together, you've also got good chemistry as opponents. And I feel like this is very much going to be the case here. These two have been working together for years at this point. And yeah, I feel like they're going to absolutely cook. It could be one of the better matches of the night, but I don't think it will be match of the night. And yeah, for me, I think I'm going to go with Miles to retain here. I feel like they're going to extend this feud out maybe a little bit more, maybe have Tavion be a little bit more heel. He's been like suggesting he might kind of doing little heel things every so often. But I feel like here's where we maybe get a full-blown heel turn, we get the full explosion of their friendship. And yeah, we end up, maybe Tavion wins the title from him again at Heatwave, or maybe on NXT if they do a special in July. But yeah, for me, I've gone with Miles to get the win, but I feel like this is going to be a dark horse for match of the night, in my opinion. So definitely be watching out if you're watching the pay-per-view. Then we got on to the 2 big title matches. And first we have the NXT Women's Championship with Lola Vice defending against Kendall Gray in what I think will be match of the night. I feel like you can absolutely go in the ring. Lola's had some absolutely fantastic matches in NXT. Kendall Gray has shown how good she really is, as she's been compared to people like Kurt Angle and Bryan Danielson, as I've seen on social media. She has a massive future behind her, and I think Kendall wins it here. I feel like they have to have at least some title change here. It's been a while since we've been on a PLE for NXT. I don't think the NXT Championship is going to change, unfortunately, kind of giving away what my next prediction is. But I think the women's one does. I think Lola gets a rematch down the line. Maybe they do a Heatwave 4-way, where it's like Kendall, Lola, Kalani, and Izzy, I believe, was involved in the same segment. I might be wrong. It might be somebody else. I don't kind of watch it. I do watch NXT every week. I just don't keep an eye on it and remember as much because we're in this transitional period. But yes, I feel like part of that transitional period is getting that title on Kendall Gray and having her run the women's division as a top babyface. And yeah, I feel like this is where it starts at the Great American Bash. It makes the most sense to me. And yeah, as I said, for me, it's all about match quality as well for this one. I feel like they're going to have, let's say, one of the better matches, if not the best match on the card. But yes, I think we get a new women's champion here. Finally, in the main event, or at least you have to assume will be in the main event, we have the NXT Championship being defended by Tony D'Angelo against Naraku, or Evil from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And yeah, as I said in the intro, I'm curious to see a bit more on a bigger stage of a PLE, how Naraku changes his styles from New Japan to WWE/NXT, because they are different styles. I think like we're going to see a new kind of, a new style out of him. I don't know how else to put it other than style, I guess. But as a match I'm looking forward to, Tony D'Angelo has improved massively since coming back from his injury/disappearance. And with him winning the NXT Championship as well, he's been defending that title fairly regularly. He's been a pretty good champion. And yeah, it's kind of worked out really well for him, but his improvement in the ring is something I really noticed over his last few matches on PLE, and I feel like this is going to be a good test for him against what is essentially a veteran in wrestling, a former IWGP World Champion in Evil/Naraku. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of the better matches as well. This also could be match of the night, but I've just got that bit more investment. The women will be better than this time, but I don't know, I could be wrong. And yeah, so I am looking forward to this match, and honestly, as much as I kind of do want Naraku to become NXT champion, I feel like he will come at some point. I don't think he's going to be the kind of person, or at least the kind of wrestler, who goes through NXT and doesn't win the championship. I feel like he will at some point. I don't think he will here. I feel like Tony D'Angelo will get the win here and continue his run, and then I assume probably face Mason Rook at some point and Cam Hendricks again, maybe a triple threat match down the line. But yeah, for me, I feel like this is going to be a good test for Tony D against a veteran, and he will retain the championship. There's my predictions for NXT Great American Bash 2026. Do put down in the comments below your predictions for the show and what you think might happen, as well as anything else. Do you think we'll get some kind of return or debut? It'd be pretty cool. Though nobody comes to mind, so I don't really know. But yeah, I think there's going to be some really good wrestling on the show, especially when it comes to the North American Championship and the 2 big title matches. And yeah, I'm curious to see how Zarya and Tatum plays out, because Zarya can be pretty hit and miss when it comes to good wrestling matches, and yeah, Sugars and Lennox is the one I'm most curious about as far as how the quality will be, as we haven't really seen Sugars wrestle singles that much. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be an interesting show. It's going to be very good. The only unfortunate thing is that it's going head to head with Forbidden Door, so I'm probably going to have to watch it afterwards, which is a bit annoying, but I don't mind. We've been through all this before. I did try last year, I believe it was Double or Nothing and Great American Bash, where I tried to watch both NXT and AEW at the same time, and it was a massive struggle. So I'm not going to try and do it again. I will watch one then the other. Most likely, I'll prioritise Forbidden Door just because it is the better stat card of the two shows, and I just prefer AEW over NXT right now. So don't come at me, WWE fans. It's just that I do love AEW a lot, so do forgive me. So yeah. As I do put down in the comments below though, your thoughts on the show, your predictions. I am curious to see what everyone's got. Thank you very much for watching. There's a lot of content coming up on the channel. There is already my Night of Champions predictions that came out yesterday, as well as the latest episode of the Retrospective, where I've covered the year of 2006, one of my personal favourite years, because it's the year that I got into wrestling. And then coming up over the next few days, tomorrow will be my Forbidden Door predictions. The day after that will be my Slammiversary predictions. I've got 2 top 10 videos over the weekend for Night and Clash of Champions. That was hard to say really quickly. And my top 10 Forbidden Door matches. So do look out for those by subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.